Ciao, amico mio. Here I present to you my most famous masterpiece, the Mona Lisa. It is a portrait of the beautiful Lisa del Giocondo. I will describe to you how I did it. My process, techniques, my careful study of human anatomy, the delicate use of light and shadow, the colors that went into every brushstroke, and everything else that brought out her life and soul on canvas. It took me many years to complete the painting of Lisa del Giocondo. To remember a person's likeness after seeing them only once, I focus on the key profile features: the nose, mouth, chin, and forehead. I study them from life and commit them to memory. Alternatively, I keep a pocketbook of facial feature variations, and after observing a face, I note which features match those in the book to help recreate it later. The painter ought to stop, take notes, and form a rule based on the place, the circumstances, and the lights and shadows. The best location for the painter will be a little sideways between the light source and the model, so that they may see the figure partly in the light and partly in the shadow. The lights are to be distributed according to the natural situation. In portraits, I ensure that my figures receive a broad light from above. The draftsman must place himself in such a manner that their eye be at the same level as the figure being drawn. My approach to painting portraits is firstly to acquire a knowledge of perspective, to enable me to give every object its proper dimensions. Painting is divided into two principal parts. The first is the figure, that is, the lines which distinguish the forms of bodies and their component parts. The second is the color contained within those limits. The figure is divided into two parts: the proportion of the members to each other, which must correspond with the whole, and the expression of what passes in the mind of the living figure. It is of the greatest importance to consider well the nature of backgrounds upon which the body is to be placed. To properly separate the body from the background, I place the light part of the body against the dark part of the background and the dark parts of the body on a light background. The principal and most important consideration required in drawing figures is to set the head well upon the shoulders, the chest upon the hips, and the hips and shoulders upon the feet. Always sketch in the whole of the figure, suiting all the members well to each other. In composing attitudes and expressions, avoid turning the head on the same side as the breast, nor let the arm go in a line with the leg. After the outline is made, put in the darkest shadows and the principal lights. The posture, expression, and character of a woman must be fully understood and captured in every movement of the painter's hands. Women are to be represented in modest and reserved attitudes, with their knees rather close, their arms drawing near each other or folded about the body, their heads looking downwards and leaning a little on one side. The draperies in which the figure is dressed ought to be arranged so their folds properly cover the intended areas, ensuring that no dark folds appear in the light areas and no overly bright folds appear in the shadowed areas. Choose colors for the draperies of your figures that create pleasing variety, distinguishing each garment from the other. While the colors should harmonize, they must not blend together, but should vary in lightness, according to the distance and interposition of the space between them. A face acquires great additional grace by means of light and shadow. I made use of this technique, particularly in the shading around her eyes. Your lights and shadows should pass from the one to the other without lines or borders, in the manner of smoke. From this contrast will arise depth, grace, and beauty to the face.